Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a few weeks and I will explain all where I've been. I'm in the third trimester. I just got out of my 37-week check. We only have 21 days or 3 weeks left until this little guy gets here, or until he has to be evicted. You tell my nose is red from the from the mask. I'm a little out of breath because I was walking. Oh, we have so much to catch up on, including everything to do with writing, planning, how I'm coping, and all that good stuff that we will get into once I get home. So let's get into this.
Stop chasing all the city lights. Breathe me in, go on and take your bite. Count.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kylie and it's been a minute. So this is going to be my third trimester wrap up. I want to get it out of the way now. That way, whenever he gets here, I won't have to worry about it. I have 21 days or 3 weeks left of the process until his due date. And I just wanted to go over some of the symptoms of the third trimester and how it's differed from the first and the second. So I'm starting to really think that they call it trimesters because they really do try you. First trimester, a lot of fatigue, a little bit of morning sickness, not a whole heck of a lot, just some nausea. Second trimester, energy, a bounce back, feeling really good, being able to work out. Third trimester hit, first couple of weeks, just like the second trimester, no big deal. But then I started to get bigger. Things started to get harder moving. Rolling over in bed became an Olympic sport, and fatigue has come back, as well as some discomfort and pain, which we will discuss. The first thing that I felt different in the third trimester was definitely energy level. Energy level went from almost 100% normal in the second trimester back down to about 50%, which I was told the third trimester fatigue could happen, and it's only gotten worse from there. So getting work done, getting writing done, getting videos done has been a bit of a challenge, because along with that fatigue comes the lack of sleep. There is something called pregnancy insomnia, or just the necessary peeing a million times a night that comes with the third trimester, and you're up more, or you can't fall asleep as easily. So that also has played a factor in the fatigue. If I'm able to get a decent amount of sleep, which means usually sleeping in a little bit more, I can get up and do my work and be totally normal functioning. But I do need a nap, usually about an hour nap a day. Now that I am 37 weeks, I have 3 weeks left to my due date. So for the last 2 weeks, ever since about the week 35, 34, something like that, I have had to take daily naps, which really helps. And is really nice, because it just gives you that boost in the afternoon to continue on throughout the day. One of the things that I did not expect to happen was carpal tunnel. So I'm naturally a very flexible person. My joints are very hyperextensive, and your body gives off this thing called relaxin when you're pregnant to help your body widen and stretch and get ready for birth, and just accommodate the extra size of the uterus and the baby. However, my relaxin is doing an amazing job to the point where it makes my hands hurt. So I have carpal tunnel in my hands which I wake up and they're like, if I sleep like with my fist or with a closed fist, opening up my hand in the morning is like, it really hurts. You know, you have to massage them out. And it was definitely something I didn't expect. And it was one of those weird things that I hadn't heard of. Along with the relaxin stuff, one of the biggest things that I have had happen to me is pelvic pain and shifting. So through this whole pregnancy, there have been round ligament pain, stretching pain, gas pain, discomfort, that sort of thing that I expected. The pelvic or girdle pain or whatever it's called has been on the higher side for me. I don't know why, but literally I could feel my pelvis just being cracked open like an egg and widening, and my hips are a little bit wider, which I know was all good. However, going from a sitting to standing position or laying down to sitting up or even rolling over is extremely painful. And I'm a first-time mom, and everybody's, you know, pregnancy is different, so I don't know what like the normal level of pelvic pain is, but this sometimes gets pretty intense to the point where I have to sometimes use, you know, Tylenol or the heating pad on my lower back or in the area because it just feels awful. And I was not expecting to have a process to roll over in the middle of the night. So when I roll over in the middle of the night, but I kind of have to gear myself up for it. I have to literally, okay, my hip has slipped out of its place because of relaxin, and I have bad hips from dance and horseback riding and sports. So I need to put my hip back in, which entails rolling over and stretching. So I have to keep my legs together, push up, and then just absolutely try to breathe through it. And I have to pause halfway through, and then I kind of have to hike myself the rest of the way over. Most of the time I crack and pop when I do this, which is very interesting because as painful as it is when I pop, it actually feels really good at the same time. It's kind of like getting an adjustment. So that is why I believe rolling over in the middle of the night has become an Olympic sport for me. Another thing is going from laying down or sitting to standing. Depending on how I have sat, the tilt can get pretty intense, like with all of him coming forward onto the forefront of my pelvis. That gets really intense. Also, he's in the process. He's in a -2 station right now, so he is like in the chamber, my doctor said. So he is there, he is in it, and he's bumping his head against my pelvis and burrowing deeper in so that he can get even more into the birth canal, which is great, and into my pelvis, which is fantastic. However, it is not comfortable when he does it. It's extremely painful and creates lightning crotch, which is again another wonderful, interesting sensation that kind of feels like cramps / electrical shocks down there. All these things I never thought I would experience, I experience them now. One of the most unwelcome symptoms of the 3rd trimester that I thought I was going to be able to dodge is reflux. All through my pregnancy, I haven't had that much of an issue with reflux. This last month has been absolute hell with reflux. We found out that he has a full head of hair at our 36-week sono. And I'm like, okay, well, that explains, you know, if the whole hair reflux thing is true, this explains why I have reflux. However, this reflux that I have is excruciating. If I don't watch what I eat or what I drink, I have to be very, very specific with what I eat and drink, Because if I eat or drink the wrong thing, I die. It literally feels like I'm dying. My stomach is like in my rib cage, like under my boob, so it's kind of just a hot mess internally right now with him being so big and pushing up. And it literally feels like between my shoulder blades is radiating aching pain. The rolling fire sensation in your throat. Every time you burp, it feels like you're burping fire. The discomfort in the front of your chest that stabs like all the way through, and then the top part of your stomach, well, the top part of your uterus, because your stomach is no longer like where it should be. It's overtaken by your uterus. And every time he pushes up, it really causes like the gases and everything, the acid to just come up. So I have been taking Tums, the extra strength Tums, and switching that up between the baking soda water mix. Apples have pectin in them. They really, really help me. I don't know if anybody knows about, I've heard of papaya and stuff like that being really, really helpful. But it does get extremely painful, and coupled with gas pain, if it happens when you're coupled with gas pain, because your intestines are all jumbled up as well, it's just not a fun time. So definitely make sure you have enough fiber or something medication wise, or prune juice, something to keep your body moving, your bowels moving, because if you stop them up, that gas pain it literally feels like you're dying. It feels like you're having a heart attack. And I used to have really bad GERD before I got pregnant. And I used to have these episodes where I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It's so bad. We need to go to the hospital. I'm having a heart attack. I will never complain about reflux ever again after having him, because this is the worst that I've ever had it. And again, it does feel like you're dying, but usually the episode only lasts about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I think I told my husband the other night when I had one, I'd rather start having contractions than have this right now. So that's how painful it was. Obviously, if you can hear me by the way I'm talking, breathlessness is another thing that happens in the third trimester when you absolutely pop. He was measuring about 2 weeks behind at about 34, 35 weeks. And he has since had a growth spurt, and he is completely caught up. We went to the last visit we went to, we got the sonogram, and he was 36 weeks at that time. And he was weighing in at 6 pounds and 10 ounces. So that means he could be anywhere from a 7 to an 8 pound baby. By the time he gets done, I just got back from the doctors today for my 37-week check. And like I said, I'm -2. He's measuring on target. Heart rate's good. I'm healthy. So we are still shooting for his due date. I do have strep B, so God forbid my water breaks before I even go into any kind of labor. I have to go to the hospital and get hooked up to IV 8 hours before I can actually deliver. It's very common. My sister had it. So they'll just give me a shot of penicillin in the IV and let the meds work that way, which is, it doesn't really bother me at all. Mentally, I'm really ready to just get him here. I feel huge. I am the most I've ever weighed, 152 pounds. And it's a lot of weight forward for me, because I am 100% all baby. I have gained a couple inches in my thighs, maybe in my hips from being, spread wider. But other than that, it's all baby. And I get really sore shins if I'm on my feet for too long. Last night was my first experience with swollen ankles and feet to the point where they disappeared. And I was like, oh no, 3 weeks left, and I thought I was gonna miss this, but nope. So after about 45 minutes of kicking them up, elevated. They did go down. So I did it to myself. I was recording yesterday for really long periods of time, and I was sitting on the yoga ball, but just sitting in that position for too long can cause feet to swell. I'm trying to think of any other strange symptoms that I've had. I go through different phases of cravings. Like sometimes I crave protein all the time, and sometimes I crave carbs all the time. I think when I was craving carbs and dairy was when he was going through his huge growth spurt, because my stomach, like him growing inside and the size of my stomach and the way that it was presenting pretty much changed in the course of a week. Gas pain, like I said, make sure you keep on fiber in your diet. It can be extremely painful and coupled with reflux. It's the worst. Like, you don't want to be constipated when you're pregnant. Trust me, it is hell. And just get ahead of it. Just make sure you stay ahead of it. That is my 3rd trimester update. We got our maternity photos done this past Sunday, so he can come anytime. He can come whenever he wants now. We have all the important things done, signed, sealed, delivered. So it's all just a waiting game. And I am going to try and record a couple other videos before he gets here. That way I can be a little bit more consistent with posting. Again, the last couple of weeks have been really hard to get focused and just get out of a funk, out of, just that not feeling well, feeling super big and super uncomfortable headspace. So hopefully from here on out until he gets here, I will be able to do some videos and keep y'all informed. One love, guys.